Welcome to the Focused Life Institute. In today's podcast, I want to deal with, is your child prepared for the real world? That is really a valid question today, since we know that young people, specifically between grades maybe 10 through 12, have a career guidance counselor. And most career guidance counselors have between 250 to 400 students they have to deal with. And most of them right now are dealing with maybe, social emotional learning situations within families, and specifically with each individual student. But I can tell you as a parent and grandparent myself that I want my child to be successful and have all the tools they need for success. As a Fortune 100 manager for 37 years, 10 with Unilever and 27 with the Coca-Cola Company, I retired because I believe that God has given me something to help this generation. I remember what David says in the book of Acts. He said, "Is there not a cause?" And I tell you, the cause that I have is to educate, equip, and empower your child so you understand specifically how to focus on identifying their personal calling and assignment in life, and for them to fulfill their purpose and destiny. Because I don't know about you, as a parent, grandparent, I want my children to fulfill what God has for them. He has an assignment for them on the earth, according to Ephesians 2:10 in the Amplified Version. It says that these opportunities that God has prepared, these works before the foundation of the earth, for you and myself and my children, my grandchildren to fulfill. But I believe that what God has given me at the Focused Life Institute are the practical tools you need for success. I am not a theorist, okay? I'm not a person that's going to give you theory. I'm going to give you practical application. I want to talk today about, is your child prepared for the real world? Because 93% of parents say the school system is not preparing your child for the real world. And one of the reasons is because they might take your child to a career fair, but if there's 100 booths there, your child's going around spinning their wheels, not being targeted and focused of where their interest and specifically where their personality matches a career choice. Now, statistically, it's amazing to me that 50% of young people who go to college are not even working after they graduated in the discipline they went to school in. So if you spend between $50,000 to $150,000 on your child's education or more, and the debt's there, you're scratching your head sometimes and say, why weren't they targeted? Why weren't they focused? Why weren't they prepared? Who did not help them? Now, I know you're busy. That's why this is a divine interruption that I want to spend a few minutes with you to talk about an opportunity that I believe the Lord is going to give you to help your child get focused specifically and get targeted on their career choice, have the top 10 essential soft skills, maybe be an entrepreneur, have the virtues and values they need for success, and really target that career choice where there's a hand-to-glove fit. Now, the Pew Foundation has recently said that there are three things that are targeted with parents based on a survey they did. Number one, they want your children, and you might be a parent like I'm a grandparent, I don't want my children to have anxiety and stress. Now, I know we live in a world that's stressful, but there's a way to take that away by giving them a vision for their life. Number two, they said, I want my child to have financial stability. Well, if you get the right career choice, you're going to be able to have that financial stability. And number three, they say they want their child to have a career that they really enjoy to go out and do. My son-in-law is a senior engineer. When he goes to work, he tells me, he said, it's just like going in and having, it's not even going to work. It's just a fun time. And so how do we get your children to understand that right now, are they prepared for the real world? But think about this. Employers have been saying for years, a few things. Number one, they've been saying that most students coming out of high school or college lack the essential soft skills. Number two, what they said is that most businesses and government right now, they're hiring based on your skills and not on degrees. So you really got to make sure, and you might say, well, my child knows what they want to do, but let's make sure, let's invest in some tools that can help your child be successful. And remember this, every child has potential, but only the prepared will fulfill it. I'm going to say that again. Every child has potential. I look at my grandchildren. But if I don't help prepare them with my daughter and my son-in-law, prepare them for their future, they might go off here or there and not find what God has for them for an assignment and what God has for them as a career choice and what they want to do, be able to advance God's kingdom in their sphere of influence by maybe going into business or government or education or arts and entertainment or family, religion, whatever that sphere might be. I'm here to help them get focused on that to identify their gift cluster. And so when you think about, is my child prepared for the real world? Right now, 70% of young people say they're not prepared. They're not prepared to go out into the real world because they don't have the skill set. Now, what I did was at the Focus Life Institute, I took the DISC, D-I-S-C personality style. I've been certified that for over 35 years, and I trained that at the Coca-Cola Company as a trainer with them, also as a manager. But what I did was I put this together to be able to match up your child's personality style with jobs in the 16 career clusters. So if I want to go into STEM, for example, and I'm an engineer, there's a certain personality style that's a hand-to-glove fit, where, man, I go in there and just enjoy my work. I was teaching this at a college recently, and a young man came up to me, was crying after I taught on how to match your personality style up with the right job. He said, I am a people person, but my family owns an accounting business. And he said, I don't want to be locked in a cubicle my entire life. I got to get out with the people. I said, anybody can do a job, but there's more creativity when that personality matches that job versus stress. I said, you can get that job and go out and maybe work outside the office a couple times a week to be able to satisfy that personality that you have of being a people person. Because if your parents own the business, they might want you to take it over. So we've got to identify, and what we do at the Focus Life Institute is help your child gain a vision statement for their life, create a vision statement. Vision is where you're going. And then we take them through their passions, and we look at what are their passion areas, what are they passionate about, and their spiritual gifting profile, and the 7 spheres profile of what places should they go into, and maybe as a sphere of influence, business, government, education, etc. But then we take that personality style, we match it up with different jobs in the 16 career clusters, have them choose 3 clusters, have them go out and identify these specific jobs. We have all the links to go into government websites to help you, and then be able to set goals, personal, educational, and financial goals, and educational goals to help them get focused on what they need to do next. Should they go into the workplace, or should they basically go to college and maybe a 2-year degree? And then we give them the top 10 essential soft skills. You talk being prepared for the real world. If your child had the top 10 essential soft skills, and the way I created this, spending time in God's presence, asking the Lord to show me what can I do to help this generation get educated and equipped and empowered to fulfill their destiny and calling. The Lord showed me to adapt these top 10 essential soft skills and use the DISC personality style. So this is a personalized and practical course to help your child understand and be prepared for the real world. Communication, collaboration, conflict resolution, confidence, creativity, character, decision-making, problem-solving, time management, people skills. And I also threw in the behavioral interview. As a manager with Coke, I used to do the behavioral interview of the STAR technique. Give me a situation, task, action, results. And so I put all this together, and then I put together a course on entrepreneurship. Is your child an entrepreneur? What is it going to take to be an entrepreneur? But then we put also the virtues and values needed specifically to prepare your child for the real world. As a Fortune 100 manager, I managed a $75 million territory, had 6 different markets, as a trainer with the Coca-Cola Company, and I always looked for those people that really had specific virtues and values that the company wanted based on the code of conduct, but also based on what I want to see them be able to achieve in their life. I wrote 3 books on this called The Heroes Effect, The Heroes Principle, Be a Hero. The acronym for heroes is H for honor in an age of dishonor. E for excellence in an age of average. Most people just want to do what they're called to do and not go beyond and do things with excellence. R stands for responsibility in an age of entitlement. O stands for order in an age of independence. E stands for expectation in an age of pessimism. And S stands for servanthood in an age of individualism. Now, I served my way up at the Coca-Cola Company to be successful. My bosses would call me all the time to pray for people. My bosses would call for me, and I'd pray for them. And we would come in a situation, we had an opportunity based on these principles that I use to see great levels of influence. I don't know about you, but I want my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to have influence in society and bring the things of the kingdom of God, those basic principles of faith, and understand how important it is to love God and serve your fellow man, and bring that into the workplace. And I'll tell you what, when you look at these virtues and you operate in those, you're going to go to a high place. Is your child prepared for the real world? That's the biggest question right now. Is the school system providing what you need to have? Is there outside opportunities? Well, this is why I created the Focus Life Institute. I really believe it gives an opportunity to find that potential in your child, unveil that potential, and give them the opportunity to transition right now into a place. This is all about transformation, the tools that I've created. And they're all in one place. This is just not a career piece. This is just not maybe a skills piece or an entrepreneurship type of opportunity. This is taking everything that I have created over the last 20 years and putting this into a subscription program for you to be able to understand how important it is. So I want you to check it out at focuslifeinstitute.com. And I want you to understand that your child needs to be prepared for the real world. If they go through our course, and it's an investment of some time, to go through our courses, you can do this over the course of a year of the subscription we have at a real low price to help you understand how important it is to prepare your child. So when they walk in, it's going to elevate them up here versus somebody down here. It's going to position them for success and for greatness in their life. I believe God has a call upon their life. I believe that God wants to utilize some of the tools that I've created as a man of God who put my time and energy into intimacy with God to hear his voice and say, okay, how can I help this generation? I really believe God called me to train and change this generation so they can be successful in life. I thank you for your time today. I'll see you next time on our podcast on the Focus